Laurent, thank you for being on my podcast. I really appreciate it. I've seen you around the club. We've had indirect business dealings, with my son. You've done that.
Thank you.
And we had a very lovely breakfast just a second ago, a few minutes ago. Tell me a little bit about where you were born, because I think that's very interesting.
Oh, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I want to acknowledge you and what you've done for the club, what you've done for the people, and the energy that you radiate. So thank you very much also for the breakfast. So my name is Laurent. I was born in Wellington, New Zealand.
Yes.
And I was adopted into New Caledonia. So I have a sister and a brother that looks like copy and paste, but one is Kiwi version, the other one is French version. So New Caledonia is a French territory close to Australia, close to Fiji. In Japanese, it's known as Tengo Konichiban Chikaishima, so the closest island to paradise. I grew up over there until the tender age of 17, and then I moved to the French Métropole, which is France. I studied over there, and then I came to Japan around the age of 20, studied here a little bit, back and forth, and I've been in Japan for about 27 years.
Wait, when you said you came to Japan straight out of what, high school?
College.
Out of college. And you stayed in college for 4 years?
Something like that. I did a 1 year exchange program in Japan.
Okay.
With the Ritsumeikan in Kyoto.
Right.
So, I spent most of my time in the karate dojo getting my smile rectified.
Okay, right. wait, so you've done karate too?
Oh yeah.
What style?
Kyokushinkai.
Tokushinkai.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So how many years?
Kyokushinkai altogether 6-7 years.
When did your fascination for Japan start?
Oh, everybody's watched the Bruce Lee movie, although it was Chinese. But
Thank you. See, please don't do that. Because for the longest when I came here, everyone said, it must be nice over there in China.
Yeah.
This is not China. Go on, Bruce Lee movies?
Yeah, and I liked martial arts, and I practiced karate in New Caledonia, so I thought, okay, gotta go to the mecca of martial arts, Japan. So
China is, really.
yeah,
and that's Kung Fu.
Yeah, it's Kung Fu, right?
Right.
But Japan was more attractive. It's the country of samurai and all this, like all these images in...
When did that start? How old were you when that started, when you started thinking?
That tall?
Yeah, from the table or from the floor? I wouldn't know what you're talking about. So really, you started when you were really young?
Yeah, martial arts. Yeah,
and you always knew you wanted to get involved in martial arts?
And then I had the opportunity to come to Japan, and I thought, this is not possible. I must be dreaming. This is an exchange program. Yeah, sure, you can go to Japan. Really? All right, let's try.
Okay.
And then I came, I studied, and then I fell in love with a lady. And I said, I promised her I'll be back, and I did everything I could to be back, and I came back. And then I started working in the French embassy. Then I worked in a Japanese company called Horiba. I'm a US-CPA as well.
US-CPA? US-CPA?
Yeah, Delaware US-CPA. I used to be. I lost a certification because I didn't.
Okay.
But I'm also US-CPA, so I used to do accounting in Japanese. Like I used to prepare the Yuka Shoken, Hogoku Shoken, Santanshin. I did the Iten Kakaku, all these. I was a Japanese accountant in a Japanese company,
right.
And did that from 97 to 2001.
Wait, you're a Japanese. Wait, excuse me. Wait, you said you were a Japanese accountant.
Yeah.
In a Japanese company.
Yeah.
You're not Japanese, are you?
Really?
No, wait. You said you're Japanese. You did Japanese accounting. Oh, Japanese accounting. Oh, I thought you said.
Yeah, I did Japanese
accounting in a Japanese company. Okay. When did you learn Japanese?
I learned in Ritsumeikan a little bit, and then when I worked in a Japanese company, it's like, as they say, it's like kawaii tabi saseru. So I arrived, okay, you're gonna do the consolidation. So they show up with this much, then the next week is this much, and the next week is this much. Go for it. So I had to learn on the job.
But how many languages did you have when you first came here? You can speak French, English,
Spanish, Japanese, Portuguese.
Wow. And Japanese. Okay, that's wow. So you have 5 languages under your belt.
Yeah, my Portuguese is a bit rusty.
But you use French all the time.
No, I hardly ever use French.
So you're using more English than anything else. English and Japanese.
In Japan, yeah.
In Japan, that's
Yeah.
what you're doing. Wow. So then, so go on from there. So after you went to the dojo and after you started working with this Japanese company, then what happened?
Oh, then it was the time of Enron, WorldCom, and
Enron,
all
okay.
yeah, and Renault. What it was hilarious.
When Renault, yeah.
So one day I received a phone call, and I was in Kyoto, and I was partying all the time. And then one day I received a phone call from Renault. Hello, this is Renault. Like, no, thank you very much. I really appreciate that you contacting French people to sell them cars, but I don't need a car. No, it's for a job. Make it white. A white car, please. So I interviewed with them, and at the same time there was a WorldCom and Enron and all these, and I was contacted by HSBC to work over there because back in the days, back in 2001, very few people could understand Japanese accounting principles. Foreigners, like this was literally a handful of people who had like intimate knowledge of how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I ended up working on the stock market, and I really didn't know what I was doing, but it's always a dream, like, wow, stock market and all this. So I worked with HSBC for 2-3 years. And you know, there's a saying on the stock market, when there's a round of layoff, put your severance package in the market because it's about to roof it. And fair enough, I was let go a month before the lowest point of the Japanese market ever.
So lucky, yeah.
And unfortunately, I didn't know that. I was, so then I moved on to work for a hedge fund with a spectacular investor, and we created. I mean, I was the first employee, and from the end of 2002 to 2005, I worked with Oasis. And then after that, I worked with another hedge fund from 2005 to 2007, and from 2007 to the end of 2014, I worked with Fidelity Japan. And over there, I was a dedicated short seller, so betting on stuff that goes down.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fairly atypical in a sense that I'm very quantitative, and I'm a short seller in a house that is very fundamental, where they like the story, the fundamental drivers, the valuations. It's just about numbers.
Mm-hmm.
They make yellow widgets, they make blue widgets, they're all the same widgets.
Doesn't matter. The numbers, yeah.
Yeah, tastes like chicken.
Right.
And we're in a house that is very fundamental story, really bottoms up driven. So it didn't really in terms of culture, it's not meant to blend together. It's like oil and water, but it really, I'm immensely grateful for all this journey and for the people there. It was good.
Was it really tense for you while you were there?
Oh no, not at all. Not at all.
You enjoyed it?
I loved it, and I'm really grateful to the people. But it really made me think, wow, man, if I managed to survive there, the day after the airport, because also my job was to short the worst market on earth in an environment that is not supposed to be. Like the day after the apocalypse, I hope I can stumble a stash of Bordeaux. Because if I survive that, I can survive pretty much anything else. But yeah. And then after this, I decided to start my own. I had this vision of, if investment is a process, then automation is the next logical conclusion.
Okay.
I mean, if anything is a process, then automation is the conclusion. This is something that has been surviving since the dawn of the industrial.
Meaning that humans are no longer needed.
Totally irrelevant.
They're irrelevant. They're irrelevant after a while because it's all automated.
It should be automated. I mean, the thought process that goes into the automation, humans do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like building a car. I mean, a car doesn't build itself.
Right.
You design a car and then you automate the process. So I thought this would, and fast forward, like 6 years down the road, this is pretty much how most people do it. So when I had this thought, it was very, this is a black box, yada, yada. And now this is pretty much mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I partnered with someone and it didn't work out. At the same time also, I started a real estate company. So we started buying buildings in 2012. Fast forward 2021, we have 7 buildings, 96.
You have 7 buildings now.
My company has 7
Okay.
buildings, so we manage buildings primarily.
Are they all in the Tokyo area, or do you have some outside?
There's one in Tokyo, and the 6 others are in Hokkaido.
Okay.
So these are primarily one-room mansions. We
Mhm.
also have family types.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're looking into Amami Oshima, but for a different type of project. And that's it. That's pretty
Now,
much
are these rental income properties that you manage? right
correct.
now?
Correct.
Now, you're managing these companies, or you actually own these?
Our company owns the buildings,
Okay.
and we delegate the management. So the
Gotcha.
day-to-day is done by management and companies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I realized that I tried to do that for a while with the Tokyo property, but I have funny stories about that because once I showed up with a bucket trying to clean the air condition, and a tenant just moved in. So I opened the door, the lady looks at me, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Who are you?" And she saw a big gaijin with a bucket, like, this is it. This is a serial axe murderer. He comes to chop me off.
Take me out of the bucket chairs.
And I'm sorry. And then I went out, bought her some flowers, and I'm sorry. Welcome in. And she said, "Oh, thank you." And then she stayed a couple of years. Very nice lady.
That's your company now. What's the name of your company?
Alize.
Alize.
Alize in French means trade winds,
Uh-huh.
and it's also the name of our daughter.
Okay.
So
Because you have a daughter and a son.
correct. I have an
Right.
8-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Right. And you've been married for?
We married on November 11, 2011.
So So you've been married for, you said, what, 10 years?
10 years.
10 years now.
10 years.
Wow. The same anniversary as the club. That's when we opened the club, 2011.
Yeah.
This new club.
Absolutely. And I remember it was right after Fukushima, so the club went around and wanted to attract foreigners, and this is how I managed to dribble in. And yeah, we'll make an exception for you.
But you did actually come in, you joined the club 2011 as well?
That's right.
Okay. Oh. So you've been riding this new club all the way through. That's nice.
And I'm very, very grateful. Very grateful.
Yeah. So what do you see your company doing now? You said it's going to continue to stay into real estate, or are you going into other areas?
Okay, so after the breakdown that I had with this other person, I decided to teach myself how to program. So now
now the company is only in your name.
It's in my wife and myself.
Okay.
So we do real estate. I also sell courses about how to do algorithmic trading using Python, short selling. I write algorithm for myself. So, and I'll come back to that. Also, I write a book about short selling using Python.
You're writing a book, or you wrote a book?
No, the book is in. I mean, it took me 3 years. It's been a journey. It took me 3 years.
You have the book now?
Yeah, it's there.
Let me see the book. You wrote?
It will be published. It will be published in July.
Okay.
So we're in the final stage of editing.
Got you. Okay.
And then my publisher wants me to write 2 additional books. Like, okay, well, yeah, because I've also started. I write quite a lot on Quora. I believe I believe that complexity is a form of laziness. So talking about finance and complex subject in very abstract matters, in very complex matters, is a form of shielding ourselves and masking our insecurities. Whereas I try to vulgarize, as in speaking, I can bore you to death with 2 things: talking about taxes and talking about math. But I would much prefer making you laugh and talking you good jokes, teaching math, for instance, or trading or whatever. So this is my specialty: introducing humor into complex matters, making the other person feel intelligent. And it's much harder work, but it's actually a lot of fun.
How long have you been writing this book?
Oh, the book is a profession of faith. So I've been writing on Quora. I have about 6 million views, 750,000 followers, somewhere like that. Been a top writer since 2017. But the book in itself, this also came with my my other company. I had the idea of doing this algorithmic thing and use the book as a vehicle for marketing. And I contracted with a company, and when they came back with a draft, I felt angry because it felt really like a scam. So I had to rewrite the whole thing and then perfectionism is also a form of procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not ready, I'm not really ready, it doesn't feel right. And now it's like, okay, the book needs to come out.
So how long has it been from the beginning till now?
It's been about 4 years.
Oh, 4 years. Oh.
Yeah. But now in its final installment, even the editor and the publisher said we don't have much to correct. We just need a bit more explanations. And to come back on the algorithm, it's also a profession of faith. I mean, we never really trade the markets. We trade our beliefs, our perceptions about the market. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like the world. We don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. So I had to shed a lot of beliefs, and now my algorithm, it works in spite of me. It works despite me. It works whether I'm here or not, it doesn't matter. And it's really a freeing, it just came not too long ago, but it's really freeing, it's liberating.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is, I don't have to worry about money. It's not like, I'm going to be a billionaire or whatnot. It's like, even if I run...
So you're saying if someone reads your book and employs what you have in it, they should get to the state to where they won't have to worry about money so much. Not worry about it. They'll have more than they'll need. Money won't be the issue anymore about trying to get it.
It's like teaching. Reading the book will probably set the foundations for it, and there are plenty of source code in there, but it set the foundations. It will shed a lot of beliefs and install new beliefs. But it's like, okay, it's not because you read a book about cars that you're going to be able to build your own in your backyard and drive it around.
Right. Do you have a title for the book?
Yeah, algorithmic short selling using Python, with Python.
Okay.
Originally, I wanted to call it the short selling game.
Right.
But the publisher changed a few things here and there.
So now it's called
Algorithmic short selling with Python.
With Python, okay. And Python being the...
Python, I told my neighbor, like, hey dude, you need to learn Python. Like, I don't like snakes. No.
Exactly.
I don't like reptiles. Python is a programming language.
Okay.
So
that's like when I was doing websites and they had Dreamweaver and
yeah,
stuff.
That's
okay.
right. That's right.
So, I think I've heard of Python before.
Yeah, it's not a reptile.
Right.
It
is a reptile, but you're using it as a program. Someone named their program Python.
Correct.
So what else do you see in your future? Outside of that, what are your interests? Do you have any kind of hobbies or interests that you... you told me about your martial arts. I know that.
I don't do that much anymore. I kite surf a lot.
Man. Oh, do you?
Oh, yes.
Where? You go to Chiba to do it?
I go to Kamakura, Ayama, Zushi, Chiba, Futsu. I've never been there. I should go there. But we're looking at Amami Oshima. And interestingly enough, I mean, you see,
But don't you need a boat to kite sail?
Nah. No.
Wait. Paris, I know when you're talking about, kite sailing, you're actually up in the air, aren't you?
Kite surfing, so I have
kite surfing, right?
So I have a kite.
Okay,
it's like 25 meters away.
Right.
And then I have a board.
Where? On the shore?
No, I have a board which is about it's smaller than a surfboard.
Right.
And then I have a kite which is so the kite is with strings, and the strings are 25 meters long. Mm-hmm. And then just launch it and jump.
While you're in the water?
Yeah.
And then jump. What do you mean jump?
It's like windsurfing.
So your board's hooked on. You can hook your feet onto the board.
Yeah, foot straps.
Okay,
yes.
foot straps. Okay. I've seen it. I guess I have seen it.
I nearly died twice.
What, ran into the coral or something?
The day after my marriage, I broke 3 ribs, and I was wheeled into the ICU. Yeah, literally.
Okay.
And it's literally, it was so painful that I forgot that I got married.
What happened?
It's the wind was very gusty, so I was holding my kite, and then I slipped and fell, and there was a pointy rock that just pierced the pleura, and then it had internal hemorrhage. I nearly died twice.
Does your wife participate in kite sailing?
No, not at all.
Okay, but she was out there watching you?
No, she was not there. So
okay.
I had a funny story about that. Like I told her, you nearly pulled a black widow, and then she looked at me. You nearly pulled a black widow on me.
You're right out. Wow, my goodness. So what else do you see? What else do you see yourself doing?
Okay.
What other kind of interests do you have?
So interestingly enough, I mean, you see, now I believe we as we said during the breakfast, I believe that actually our thoughts create our future.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a lot of internal work. I participated into the Landmark in Japan. The Landmark Forum is like a large group awareness training, and it's amazing. It's like really dojo for the mind. You see, we go to the gym to get ourselves fit. We take the garbage out. We get ourselves fit. But what about here? Like, we have all these subconscious stories that run the show. To give you a very simple example, let's say, for instance, let's take a very divisive figure like as the ex-American president. Like, if he says good morning, some people say, oh, this is really, really, really bad. Or people love him, good morning. Or he drinks a glass of water, this is amazing. The other people like, oh, he drinks with two hands. It's not how you see the world, it's what comes to you.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't take care of the subconscious programming, if not aware, and if we don't reprogram this, we keep running the same stories over and over and over, and then we die.
Mm.
So I did a lot of work about what do I really want. We're very extrovert about what we don't want in life, but
That's right.
we are very shy about what we really want. What
That's right.
do I want to do with my life?
I was listening to someone talking about that, for example, liking yourself, which is so hard to do. How many times do you tell yourself you really like yourself? Not in a narcissistic way, not in a self-centered way. Just
In the
like the
caring way.
fact, in a caring way, that you really care about the fact that you have a physical body that's healthy, that's doing what you want it to do for the most part.
Yeah, the gratitude exercise.
Gratitude. How often do you give gratitude to your body? Yeah, in the day you might do 2-3 times. What about tearing yourself down? We do that so much that it becomes just a habit, that you don't even think twice about the fact that the guy looked at me because of this of me, and did this, what happened here? Is my hair out of place? It's always something negative we tear ourselves up about, and do that on a regular basis, and then wonder why we end up dying the way we thought. Or looking the way we thought when we die.
You see, we would never tolerate anyone in our lives that speaks to us the way we speak to ourselves.
We never would.
No, you're too toxic.
Someone said if you could treat yourself the way you do your best friends, you wouldn't have any problem at all. If you could be as nice to yourself as you are to your best friends. Isn't that interesting? And it's interesting you talk that way, because I can see that you really, just over breakfast and the times we've talked before, that you really do have a lot of inner talk that's positive. But that's because you said you grew up in a very harsh environment. It wasn't really nice. It wasn't pleasant. But that's what made you who you are.
Absolutely, and I'm grateful for what happened.
Right.
I'm grateful for what happened. Right?
You couldn't see it at the time, but you made it through it.
See, the thing is, like, one of the things that stuck with me when I was poor, starving student in France, and I had scurvy, and I was reading the.
And this was where was this? Where were you then?
I was in Paris, in Sarcelles, and I was it was hilarious because I didn't have scholarship, I didn't have anything, so I was, and when I got.
Well, see, you didn't have scholarship, and you were a little kid, right?
No, I was 17. I was 18.
When you had scurvy, you were 18?
Oh yeah. But you see, scurvy is like the thing that happens to sailors back in the 19th century, right? And I didn't know I had it. So, but I was so poor. Like I was in a dormitory with 49 Africans, 49 black dudes. I was the only French dude and the only white dude. And the guys from Burkina Faso said, "You white man, you're really, really poor." Like, wait a minute, Burkina Faso, bottom 10 poorest country in the world. Like, you tell me that I'm poor.
Wait, you weren't adopted, were you?
No. I was studying.
You're studying, right?
Yeah.
But when you grew up, did you have brothers and sisters?
I have a full-blood brother and sister, but I only found out about them when I was 30, because I was adopted away. So no, I was a single child.
When you came and saying you were adopted away, what do you mean you were adopted away?
Oh, because I was born in New Zealand, and I was placed in an orphanage, and then my parents came from New Caledonia and adopted me from New Zealand into New Caledonia. It's cool.
But your parents weren't your biological parents.
No.
So you don't know your biological parents.
I do know them now.
But you didn't when you were young.
Yeah, but I always knew I was adopted, so it's
I see. Okay. All right. I got you. Okay. I'm just trying to get it clear because you're speaking with a French accent and my ears aren't that good.
Sorry about that.
No problem. All right. So then you had scurvy and then you.
But you know the scurvy is really funny. The way it happened, I didn't know I had it. But I was only feeding rice and onions and stuff like this because hey, you don't have money, right? And it's not. I've always had the belief that it's not about making money. It's about what you're ready to do to get the money. Mm-hmm. So I could have sold drugs. I could have stolen. This goes against my code of values. Certain things you can't do, and that's it. So I remember like there was a Jewish man in Paris. He said, "Man, you look really dilapidated." So he took me to his mother, and the mother like, "Wow!" She looked at it, "You have scurvy. I didn't know it existed." And then she, "Can I run a whole battery of tests?" And I looked at her, "Can I? Yeah, but could I have biscuits or anything?" Like, "Yeah, don't worry, we'll feed you." Wow. And then she told me like I was 20 at that time. Yeah, 20. And she said, "You have the body of a 55-year-old person." And then she told me, "You have scurvy." Like, oh, now I understand why I'm bleeding here.
Now, what causes scurvy?
It's super easy to fix.
Okay, but what causes it?
It's vitaminose. So you're lacking vitamins. I forgot which one is either B or D.
Right.
So you see the world in sepia.
Okay. And you saw the whole world in sepia.
Yeah, like
you didn't see good colors.
I mean the same color, but like with a yellowish filter.
Tint. Okay.
All the joints they ache. So you're walking like an old man.
Right.
And you feel tired all the time.
You're dehydrated too.
No. It has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
And also you bleed from the gums.
Okay.
So people say, "Hey, you need this is why they call the Brits the limey because they used to." But they say bite an orange. Bad idea. You got to leave your teeth inside.
That's how bad it is. Wow.
So you got to lick it or you got to make juice, and then it was really kind of funny.
Wow. You survived through that.
Yeah, cool. And the Malian kids in the same buildings, like they were licking the walls. They were licking the lead painting.
Lead painting, yes.
The green one, and a couple of them got blind.
Mm-hmm.
I felt really sorry for this kid. And actually, I licked the wall myself. Damn it, it tastes good.
Wow.
I wanted to know, right? It's not like I was coming home and licking the walls. It's just, I see them doing that.
So you find out what the interest is in it. Yeah. My goodness. So you see yourself going forward. Do you have anything you'd like to leave us with? So
you see, we always bring our incomplete past into our future with either trying to solve it, either trying to avoid it, or either trying to fix it. And now what I'm trying to do is I'm bringing out the best person I want to meet is me in 10 years. That's my role model. So I started from this, and this person pulls me out of bed every day. It gets me to work every day. What is the best? My role model is me in 10 years. And I don't say it in like bragging or whatnot. The best version of myself is me in 10 years. So I do pull-ups, I do push-ups, I do jump rope, I exercise, I climb the 20 stairs of my building. But like everybody takes the elevator, I'll see in 5 minutes. I climb. Papa, don't just go. I do that. I concentrate also on my work, which is like algorithm programming, and also the book, which will serve as a business vehicle. And also, I'm very concentrated also on the Amami-Oshima, where I want to develop property because I want to kite surf. And yeah.
That's beautiful. That's nice.
So very simple and healthier version.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I mean, without pretension.
If there's anybody you'd like to meet for business purposes, what type of person would that be? Because you say it's just you and your wife right now, but you wouldn't mind having other partners or people that can collaborate with you. What kind of people would you be? What would they have to be interested in?
Through the club, I've had the privilege and the pleasure of working with, for instance, Joseph Bodenheimer or Mike Hostan, or lovely people. People in finance. You see, now the stuff that I do, my algorithm runs for my children, for yours truly. Soon it will run for a company. And it could run for, I want to commercialize it eventually. And you see, finance is charlatan central.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It
Okay.
is like, assume everybody is a charlatan, everybody wants to take your money until proven wrong. The burden of proof is on them, not on the customer. So, for the stuff that I do, the best proof that it works is I want to put my kids' money on it. Like this is not what I want. It's I'm doing it. So, and my objective is not to become a billionaire or whatnot. My objective is, you know what? One of the central value that I have is we have three main worries in life: money, health, relationships. Imagine if you can take out the worry about money. You know, like, I don't have to live from paycheck to paycheck. If I have an accident, what's going to happen to me? Da 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 da. You know, like all the background noise and the worries about money. What if I'm fired from this job? Imagine, like, what if you don't have to worry about being fired from a job? My wife always worries, like she's an executive at Twitter. She always worries. No, you don't have to do that. We have a company that takes care of that. And the stuff that we do, you don't have to worry about that. And it allows you the freedom to expand. You don't live in survival mode, you live in growth mode. Just taking away the freedom, just taking away the worry of money, or turning the volume down a little bit. Don't have to keep up the appearances, don't have to, can relax.
So people interested in finance or the type of stuff that you're doing, those are the kind of people you want to get to know more of.
Yeah, and
Fantastic.
personally, I've always held the belief that if you carry yourself in this world, you have something to teach me. I want to learn from you. I mean, if you want to hear about the stuff that I do, sure, yeah, I'm here. But I think I'm more interested in knowing about you and what you can teach me. There's always something to learn from anyone. If somebody carries themselves in this world, whoever they are, whatever they do, they live by a certain set of values, a certain set of principles, and there's something in them that is worth exploring, worth learning from. And this is also a discipline that I apply with my kids. I'm always telling them, I learn more from you than you learn from me. And then they look at me like, Papa, integrity art, it's not fair. Yeah, get used to it.
If people want to contact you, how would they do so?
I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Quora, I'm on Facebook.
Under what? How would it be on LinkedIn? How would they contact
My name is Bernut, Bernut, and the first one is Yves Saint Laurent. Yves Saint Laurent.
Laurent. All right, fantastic. Well, thank you again.
Oh, thank you
for being on the podcast. All of you watching, make sure that you like this, subscribe, write a comment, and we'll see you at the next podcast. This was probably one of my favorites.